Good to go. All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. About this presentation, I hope I'm going to tell you a little bit of this story that what's happening with the community in the United States. I'm going to start by introducing myself. I'm Jorge. I'm the founder of this Odoo Community Association. And we are going to share with you today what is happening and what we have been doing during this year. Hope you like it. And let's start with this image here that kind of like represents what I'm currently doing. I'm a member of the Odoo Community Association. I'm part of the board of the Spanish Association. And I'm founding this initiative in the United States. So as you can see, there are similarities about the values, the core values that I'm trying to promote here: open source philosophy and collaboration, and I think everything matches together, right? It also matches with my own core values and also matches with my company core values. I'm the CEO of Pinex, and yeah, it's a company that it's promoting the use of Odoo Community Edition, right? So as a context of what I'm currently doing, it's related. Everything is related. Everything matches up. So it makes sense for me to found this association in the United States. I believe there is a huge opportunity. So let's go and take a look at that. Odoo is growing in this market, and don't take this graph very seriously. It's just a generic graph, okay? But it shows how the market behaves in the United States. Okay, there are big opportunities, mainly because Odoo is being adopted very rapidly in this market. And I did a breakdown also on the editions, right? On the community edition, and on the enterprise edition. And as you can see, there is a huge market to still grow. So I also believe that it's a great opportunity to create this association and foster collaboration between the community that is already there, right? So there are several gaps, and those gaps are initially, making this collaboration happen, right? And we started already. We started this year. We did 2 meetups. It was very interesting. I'll tell you what I learned about these meetups. But we did a meetup in New York, and we did another one in Miami. And I also did several interviews with people looking to contribute and to get to understand a little bit more how the community works in general and how this initiative is going to be evolving, right? And we created a logo. I'm going to show the logo somewhere. I think I don't know if I forgot to put the logo. I'll handle that in a minute. Okay, and we did write a business plan about how we should structure the OCUS or OCUS. And well, we found out that there are some contribution barriers, but I'm going to mention that on the next slide because I want to talk about what I learned through these meetups. And initially, I think the most interesting part that I discovered through these meetups is that there is already a community going on. Okay, there are implementers that are already there solving certain issues. And when we think about this market specifically, we might think about big agencies, implementing ERP solutions, enterprise solutions. But actually, there are freelancers or standalone technical profiles that are currently doing implementations by themselves and discovering certain things during their implementations. I think we all been through that road, or most of us, that have been working with Odoo for a long time. We know the struggles. So that was very interesting. That was very, very interesting to learn about these stories and the common factors and all these discussions, they go around similarities that I have been experiencing with the OCA and I have been experiencing with the Spanish Association. So it was very interesting to see that happening. And as you can see on that picture, people were arriving to the meetup, and I was already talking, you know, I have a problem with this, I have a problem with that, how did you solve this, and how did you solve that? And that's kind of like the community vibe, right? Very, very cool. Okay, so, and then one of the things that we talked a little with the community was, you know, certain problems that happen with open source about, you know, different people taking the free, call it software, and then use it by themselves and do that sort of thing, and the mistrust about this question. It was kind of like the question around what people were asking, you know, the mistrust about, you know, what is going to happen with my code and so on. So those were the learnings about this initial meetup. So it seems like it's starting, and it's kind of like very energetic the way that I see this. And when I was seeing, I mentioned this to Frederick, that he did a talk about the history of the OCA yesterday, and I was listening to it, and it is curious how something that started several years ago in Europe, it kind of have the same vibe when you go to this new market, right? It seems like something is happening, or this is becoming more popular. These integrators are getting together. So there are similarities about the initial years from the OCA and what's happening here. So that's also very, very cool to experience. But okay, so now that was the learnings and what happened. But the community has been working for several years, and I want to mention a couple of things that have been happening in terms of localization. And I believe one of the main goals from this collaboration that we want to foster in this market has to focus a little bit on building a strong localization. And based on the success of the Spanish community, for example, that has a very strong localization. And I believe that the job that I have been doing lately with the Spanish Association is to foster that collaboration so we can have a strong localization. It makes sense to do the same thing in the United States, right? So let's take a look at what's happening to this specific repo. We got a base localization for the United States already. It's not new. It has been being done for several years. We have some accounting framework that is already there for you to install and to use it for your customers. We do have these modules working for several of our customers in the United States, so I can say that it works very well. We did some localization work in terms of extending the MIS financial report, MIS financial report. We have the GAAP MIS report, and we have the profit and loss and balance sheet report. This is very important. This is kind of like core of what is needed for a company to work with this solution in the United States. ACH payment, and as you can see, there's a list. We had to solve some certain things about ACH. It's becoming a reality. There are certain modules that are on the PR stage, so it will be interesting for you to go over there and review them and see if they work for your clients. And yeah, and then on the last one, we can see that we are building an integration with Bill.com. Like any other market, when you go over there, there are certain solutions that customers are used to. And when you compare and what you're trying to bring with Odoo, and there is already a solution there, then you have these struggles, right? This software does this for me. So we build a connector. Bill.com it's a platform to make payments directly from the software, and it goes out, it connects to the bank, and does the payment. So we had to develop that in order to have a stronger solution for our customers. Okay, so this is what's happening on this repo. Fiscal rules. About fiscal rules, this is not new, but it's on the community side. We have the AvaTax connector. There's another connector. And this is mostly necessary if you are going to be doing business in the United States, if you're going to implement this solution to your customers. Odoo SA has this native on the Enterprise Edition, but just so you know, there is also an OCA version of it. So if you are thinking about implementing a community edition for your customer, this will solve these problems of on tax regards. We then let's continue with banking and payments. Banking and payments, it's also very important, and bank reconciliation, right? So when you go to this market and you find out that the solutions that the community has for bank connection for bringing statements is not the same that banks in the United States. Actually, the banks, they work in a complete different way. So we found out that Plaid had a good solution to connecting to the banks, and we did a statement import online that is called actually that statement import online Plaid to bring the statements and do the reconciliation. Very important piece of solution for the accounting side, and we needed that to bring the statements. And then we also are currently working, these all are on PR states. We have these implemented, these solutions, we have them on certain customers, but we kind of need some reviews in order for them to merge. There is a solution that is called Payment Plaid, that is also a feature for you to pay bills directly from Odoo. It's very cool, and it's something that is being requested from the market. Okay, so this is what is currently happening on the bank payment. In regards to shipping, we also have some solutions going on. The Enterprise Edition had some connectors with USPS, UPS, and FedEx. I think that's the way it works. We found that EasyPost was a problem solver in many different ways. EasyPost is a solution that connects with different carriers, and it gives you the best rate of those carriers. So it made sense for us to go directly to that solution instead of building a connector for each one of these carriers that are in the United States. So, and also it has a very cool feature, because at the end of the day, the way this works is that you request a rate based on the package size and based on the address. And EasyPost gives you the best rate on these different agencies that are currently working in the United States. So we made that connector, and it was a great solution from some of our customers. There is also on a PR state, but it's there, it's functional, and I think this is also powerful for this market. Okay, and that's kind of like, that's about it in terms of what is been happening in the repositories, in the solutions that we are developing. And so let's go back, recap a little, and talk about the job of the association, right? So as I was talking at the beginning, core values, they relate. We are very strongly, we want to be very connected with the OCA. So I've been talking to the board, and I've been talking to Virginia as well, and we decided to propose a joint membership. So when you become a member of the OCUS association, you also are by this joint membership also are you are buying a membership for the OCA. That's very cool. And we want to have them in different ways. I think we want to have an individual membership and a company membership, the same way that OCA is taking this approach about having a sponsorship, they call it, for companies, and a membership for members. It's a very similar approach. We still don't have the numbers. We're working on that, because this is a joint membership and we want to give you that information correctly. But just so you know, we are taking some steps further on that direction. And of course, the visibility and the more value proposition that we're going to give to the members, they are, also on the way. I hope I had that information today, but we have been working on that. The way that we think governance and member roles and working groups, this is also something that we're currently working. And we want to have the members, we want to give the members some roles in different working groups. So we're getting together these working groups, and I'm going to share some information now on how you can start collaborating to become a member and to be part of these working groups. This is it. This is how we're going to start, by talking and communicating between each other. This is the communication channel that we have created. There are some conversations that are going to start now in terms of the discussions around these modules and these add-ons that we're creating in different repositories, but also on the working groups, on the memberships. We also want to have a diversity in opinions, and for you to become part of this, of the creation of this association. So we want to discuss, we want to talk to you, and yeah, I think that's the way to do it. On the roadmap, okay, so we still have on our list to launch the official memberships, but we want to do it right, and you guys just have to wait a little bit for that to come. We are building some volunteer network. On that regard, we want to also give you value, so we want to make this right as well, because being part of this also, has some value in return. So even though that we know that collaborating and contributing into the code part of these contributions, it also allows you to have better defined modules and maintenance of them and everything. I think also becoming a member or being part of the member of the association should have more value, not just that. Okay, so we are establishing that communication hub, and then one of the roadmaps, of course, next year we are going to continue to doing this awareness campaign, getting together with these meetups. We are slowly getting there, and I hope that you guys can join us. So to join us, here is a link. There is a mailing list for you to be up to all the news that are coming. You have the roadmap over there, but we are going to discuss a lot of things. We need to discuss a lot of things. So, and we are going to start sending more information about what is happening. So please go ahead, and I think most of you are already on the member list, on the newsletter, but here is a code that you can scan also and be up to date with everything that is happening with this initiative. And that is it. It's being, I don't think I took too much of your time. This is what's happening. I hope I had more stuff. I wanted to talk about, as a recap, I wanted to talk about the job that is currently being done through the repositories, the modules, the add-ons that are being built for this market. And I think having a strong localization is a big part of what the association is going to be doing. Of course, organizing these ideas and getting everybody on board of this initiative. So thank you for being here, and thank you for listening, and thanks again, I guess. If you guys, anybody has any questions?
Yes, I have.
Mike? I don't know this.
Okay, so thank you for your presentation. It's really interesting, and we are following it actively. The question is, do you have any release support policy in the OCUS? I will explain what's that. For example, in Italy, in the Italian association, we are supporting only those events versions, like 16, 14, and 18. And those in the middle are simply skipped, just not to spread efforts. Is there some kind of the similar policy in your association?
Well, not yet, I would say. We don't have yet that type of policy. I believe that this is mostly driven by 2 or 3 companies that are with these members of the OCA and have this philosophy. But for us, for example, we are migrating every version. So and I believe that since we are starting to build this, I believe that that's going to probably be the policy, to migrate and to maintain all of these modules each version. it is probably going to be that. At the end of the day, the association, what it's looking for is to foster collaboration. It's not getting to be involved. It's not going to be involved on the daily, things of the members. The members. If you have clients and you want to migrate them every 2 years, then you can do that. But the maintenance of the localization, I think, is probably going to be done every version.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other question?
If you still have time, perhaps you can show the website.
I can show the website. Yeah. Here's yeah, for sure.
And it's quite nice. But the question, why did you took the end?
Oh, right, yeah, and I also didn't mention. I wanted to show the logo because the logo represents something. Here it is. All right. So the ant is back. Okay, yeah. Since like in the beginnings of the OCA, we wanted to put the ant bed there. I think it represents the current situation of the association, right, and the collaborative spirit. In the future, we don't know. I mean, in the future, this might change, like it changed for the OCA, but it kind of like made sense to have the ant back there. I think it represents collaboration a lot. And then, yeah, I think it looks nice. You can go over here, and then this is the sign up for the newsletter. But yeah, we have a website, and I think it looks very nice. Big thanks for to Jorge and ForgeFlow for the collaboration. I mean, part of this was his doing, and also, of course, Mitchell Strum over there, that is also contributing a lot for the creation of this association. So let's give it to them as well. Guys, any other question?
If possible, I would like to discuss a little bit more about the modules with the banking and Build.com and the ACH and stuff, because one of the more interesting things that I found personally about the US is how they the banking things were there. I think that they're very different from us. I would like to know a little bit more about that.
Well, that's thank you. Well, we had to find a connector, right, to get the bank statements and the bill payment features. So when we looked at what Odoo Enterprise had, Odoo Enterprise has a connector to Plaid. So we went to Plaid, and they gave us some the API, documentation, and we did the connection and the statement, the bank import statement online. It's pretty much solid. It's working very well. So you can sign up to Plaid, create an account there, get the API keys and so on, and create that connection, and it's pretty much steady. That works very well. In terms of the bill payment solution, it's a little bit more tricky. We are depending on a third-party solution, right? So Plaid, it seems like it is cool, but they look for volume, right? And we don't have that volume just yet. And it seems like it's not much of their interest to help us out here in certain difficulties that we are currently experiencing. So then it also makes sense to get more people involved, and then if we have clients that are going to be needing these, well, all together we are probably gonna draw more attention to get that solution going. So in terms of the bank reconciliation is pretty much steady. You go to Plaid, you create an account, you install the module, put the API keys over there, and works like a charm. In terms of the payment solution, that's why we build also, the Build.com connector, because it is a little bit more tricky to make payment transfers. And the feature is cool. I gotta say, you go to Odoo, you say, I want to pay these bills. make the payment, it connects to the bank and does the payment automatically, and the feature is great. But it is not that interesting for Plaid to give us the production environment. Okay, so we are still on testing environment, and we kind of like needed to find a direct solution, and that's why we build the build.com connector. Build.com has the same feature. So the way that works is that you create the connection with the same API keys to a build.com account, and from the build.com you create those transfers. You go to Odoo, you create the transfer, it connects to build.com and makes the payment. So it's a third party involved as well. I mean, we can connect to banks directly, right? So that's what's happening there. Did I answer your question?
Yep.
Yeah, well, the banks, they work differently than in Europe, so.
There's no separate files.
Right. And then we also developed, we had the ACH payments already. We developed ACH payments through Stripe, and then we can also send payments through, with the ACH feature through Stripe as well. The problem with that is that they have big commissions. So then you can do that manually anyway, because the solution that it was built already on the ACH piece, you can generate the payments and send them to the bank manually. If you want, if you're making many transactions and you're making many payments, maybe it makes sense to use the one that it's automated with the connector. But then the option is there. Some of our clients, for example, they use that. Some of them they don't. So it's getting there. So as you can see, what's happening here is the beginning of some initiatives and to getting this solution localized. But I think we're getting there, and like I said, the market is great, it's growing, and there is every year there is more and more interest in this solution. But it's not mature enough in certain ways. So I think making the association at this stage, it also makes sense to start getting together and start building this solution so we can have a stronger product for everybody that is doing business in the United States. Any other question?
How many members do you have?
Well, currently we don't even have the memberships going. So as you can see, this is the very initial steps of what we're currently building. We are going to launch the membership program probably this year. Yeah, we hope to. But we want to do it right. We want to really bring value to the members. I think what we currently have, it's very cool because you share all of these development efforts, and the community maintains them, and you maintain them with them, and it's the collaborative way that it's been working. In terms of the association, I think it makes sense for a member to really have value. So we are really thinking in a way that that it will bring also value to the members, right? So it's getting there. No members for now. Any other questions? Well, I think that's it. Thank you so much.